What is going on, guys? Pat in the shop, and tonight we're talking 400 small block with Vortec heads, but we're also talking flat tappet cams. Should you be scared of flat tappet cam lifters? 100%. I'm going to show you why and how you can prevent issues. Let's check it out. As promised, I'm putting together a 400 small block Chevy. It's actually a 406 because it's bore 30 over. But I promised you guys that I would do a 400 small block Chevy with Vortec heads. Something I've actually never done before. I've never put a set of Vortec heads on an engine that big. And I think it's going to be a real interesting torque monster for sure. Doing all my tricks to the Vortec heads, some good street porting, 1/6 exhaust valves. But what we're going to be running on this thing is a flat tappet camshaft. And I know I'm going to be getting comments is that you should have put a roller in it, but the retrofit rollers are just so expensive. This is a budget build. It was a trade-in motor, originally bottom end. And the ironic part about it was it was a trade-in motor because it was a flat tappet camshaft failure. It was soon after rebuild. It was a failed cam. We ended up getting debris in the bearings, so I had to do a refresh on it and fix it all up. But I am putting a flat tappet camshaft back in it. Is it something I might regret? I don't think so, because I do a lot of my checks, and that's pretty much what this video is about. I just think I have a good grind in there. We're using another one of the Summit 4.7 swap cams. And I think it's going to be a really good combination. It's just really expensive, especially in these times, for people to swap over to a retrofit system for roller. We do have some strokers coming up, stuff that'll be roller cam, so we're going to be doing some roller stuff. But I also like to do some flat tappet stuff. But we really need to be scared of the lifters nowadays. I'm going to be showing you on the dial indicator just how bad some of these lifters are, and why one bad lifter could cost you a rebuild, and that's truly why flat tappet cams are scary. Let's go over to the bench and we'll take a look at these lifters and why it's an issue. On the bench here we have the problem, we have how to check it, and we have the solution over here. These lifters right here were given to me by a customer a few years ago. He wanted me to build him a motor. He's a really great guy, but he said, "Hey, I got all the parts for you. You just got to put it together." Well, to be honest with you, I'm not really in the business of just assembling motors. I really like building motors and putting combinations together. So when he gave me all these parts, I wasn't too jazzed about it, and I told him I probably weren't going to use them anyway. The lifters here were a set of white box flat tappet lifters. I'm not gonna throw out any brand names, but what I'm gonna give, the best advice I'm gonna give you is, if you're spending less than $100 US on a set of flat tappet hydraulic lifters, then you need to buy better lifters. You're going to be spending closer to $200 US on a good set of lifters if you don't want to have problems. And out of this whole batch, there's 3 that are semi-acceptable. There's these ones that aren't great, and then there's these ones that are horrible. So if you were to install these lifters on your freshly rebuilt engine with your new cam, I would be almost positive you'd have a cam failure. We're going to show you here on the dial gauge what these look like. I'm not going to get into too many details about all the problems with flat tappet cams. There's a lot of videos out there. If you guys want me to get into what I feel and how I've had good luck, we can get into that in another video. But I really just wanted to show you and show you why you need to buy good lifters. I'm hoping maybe I can help a few guys out there by pushing them to buy good flat tappet lifters and avoid these problems. And maybe some of you guys could get us set up with a dial gauge and check your own lifters at home pretty easily. So let's get down to the dial gauge, and we'll take a look at what a good lifter looks like, and you'll see what a bad one looks like. A hydraulic lifter has to have a crown, and what that means is the top of the lifter is not flat. It actually is high in the middle and then tapers off at the sides of the lifter. The reason for this is the cam lobe also has a taper on it, and ideally you want those tapers to be matching. And what the taper does is it allows the lifter to spin as the cam lobe comes around. If the lifter doesn't spin, then you have cam failure. It just doesn't have to spin once to get a flat spot on the cam or the lifter. It starts eating itself up, and eventually you have a full lifter failure. It starts chewing it up and it's gone. So typically what you want from the center being high to the edge is about 1.5 thou to 2 thou on a small block Chevy lifter like this. And ideally you want about a 2 thou taper on the cam, maybe a little bit more, and then it's a little bit less on the lifter. The reason being is the lifter's smaller and it ends up matching up, but if you're checking them, 1.5 thou to 2 thous are pretty good for a lifter. Let's take a look at the lifters we're going to be using. These are a GM set of lifters. HL66s is your classic. These are the good lifters. So if you can see here, there's this line. This has a hardened face on it. The Delphi lifters, some will call them. They're made by Delphi. These lifters are fantastic. And you're going to see that in a second, how consistent these are. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set up a dial gauge. We just have a flat surface here. The proper way of checking a lifter is actually grabbing it from the side and checking it this way. But I've always done it on a flat surface like this, and I've always been able to find good and bad lifters. So you'll be able to see from the results that we have. It's pretty obvious that this works decently. So let's get on to this first lifter. I'll show you what a good lifter looks like. So we're on the center, we have our gauge zeroed out. We're going to slide it to the side. We're going to see just under 2 thou going that way. Let's go back the other way, just under 2 thou. Center 0, just under 2 thou. There, and just under 2 thou there. Oh, a little far, just under 2 thou there. So there you go, pretty consistent. Let's grab another one and let's check another Delco lifter. Zeroed out in the middle, just under 2 thou, just under 2 thou. There you go, same deal. Trying to keep it consistent here. Just under 2. Bring it back, and we're 0. So that's what a good lifter should look like. Let's take a look at a bad lifter. All right, here's one of our bad lifters, cheap lifters. 0 in the center. Let's pull it this way. We're about 4 that way. We're about half a thou that way. We're about just over 3 that way. And about 1 that way. So you guys can see why this is a huge problem, and we're going to have issues. Let's check another one. Okay, 0 in the middle, pull her this way. We got about 1.5 thou. Wow, we got almost 4 there. Bring it to the back, just over 2, and about 2.5. So again, super inconsistent. So pretty scary when we see that. I'll go ahead and I'll still check every one of the HL66s, but I've never found a bad lifter like that. And I'll put the updated part number. This is an old box, and I think they've changed it to Chevy Performance or something, but they're the same lifters and they're still good. But the quality of these lifters, I can't emphasize enough, when you buy cheap lifters, the risk you're taking, especially if you're not checking them like this. And I guarantee if you check them, you'll be shocked. You'll end up sending them back and getting a set of these anyway. The fact that out of this whole batch, 3 were okay, and 3 were horrible, and the rest were not great. Honestly, these were not great either, but those were the outliers of standing out being really bad. But the reality of it is, it only takes 1 bad lifter to ruin your engine and ruin your engine rebuild that you just did. So the extra $80 or what it is, I think these are about $175, $185 a set right now. The extra $80 or $100, whatever you're going to spend, is worth every penny for the frustration, and especially with the cost of rebuilds nowadays. The proof's in the pudding, guys. I would encourage you to set something up like this and try to check your lifters as best you can. And if not, you can ask your machinist to do that, and they should be able to check them for you. Like I said, if you want me to get into more detail about flat tappet cams and how I have pretty decent luck with them and what the things I look for and do, let me know. But I really just wanted to just really let you guys know about how bad some of these lifters are and why we need to avoid this kind of stuff. So there you go, guys. A little bit about flat tappet lifters and the scary part about them nowadays. Let me know in the comments. Is this a flat tappet? Is there some still flat tappet lifter guys out there? I still think they're great as long as everything's checked and everything goes well. But I've had pretty decent luck with them. I know some people can't say the same, obviously. But I'm going to keep rocking on the 406 here and get this thing together. I think it's going to be a pretty cool combination. The other thing I forgot to mention is the plan is we're going to try dyno testing on an 87 octane. So not only is this going to be a torque monster, this is going to be, save some money and drive it on, make some power on 87 octane. I think it'll be pretty neat. So comment below if you have any questions. And do me a huge favor, if you've got anything out of this video and you enjoy this old school type of iron engine content, scroll down and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I have a really good subscriber base, but I know a lot of you guys are watching the videos and not subscribing. So if you could just do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. Any questions, comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button. Thanks, guys.